What About Vietnam? A podcast with Carrie Newsom. The series where Carrie talks with travellers about their experiences and adventures. Find out more about Vietnam from the people who have actually been there.
What about Vietnam?
Whether it's adventure, exploring the culture and cuisine, shopping, or just soaking up the sun. Let Carrie and her travellers pave the way for a magical holiday in Vietnam.
What about Vietnam?
Xin chào and welcome to What About Vietnam. Today we're going to hone in on Danang, the city of Danang, and very close to the city, about 10 minutes, 15 minutes out of the city, is a nature reserve called the Son-tra Nature Reserve. Attached to that is an education centre. Today we're talking to Danang, and she is going to give us a bit of an education about the nature reserve itself, what you can expect to experience when you go and visit there, because we're going to be looking at, just as a tourist, what we do that contributes in a positive way or a negative way, and how we can experience something as lush and as beautiful and as sightseeing spectacular, but do it in a way that we're kind of in harmony with the environment. We're going to be talking about the red-shanked douc langurs monkeys. Now, these are those fascinating monkeys with the kind of the colourful bibs that they have, which you'll see lots of photos when you look at Vietnam. You'll see them feature a lot. But there's also some other monkeys in the nature reserve, which Tung will tell you about. And they're, not quite as friendly. They're a bit more mischievous. So she's going to give us some tips about how to experience that. Look, it's a great place to go, especially with a family, to visit. She's going to talk about the best ways to do that from Danang, so that's going to help you. Really hope this episode gives you another aspect to your stay in Danang, because Danang is sometimes a leaping from point. So you fly into Danang and then you go to Hoi An and you go up to maybe Lady Buddha, or you do the Hai Van Pass. So it's kind of a launching pad to some really nice experiences very close by, and the Son-tra Nature Reserve is one of those places. Please welcome Tung to the program, and I hope you enjoy it. Tung, hello, how are you?
Hello, Carrie, and your lovely audience. I am really well, thank you.
Okay, that is great to hear, Tung. Now, tell us something about the Son-tra Nature Education Centre and the Son-tra Nature Reserve. What can you tell us that, as a visitor, will help us learn a little bit more about this area?
Dear Carrie and your audience, I believe that a lot of you have visited Danang, the most livable city in Vietnam. And when you are looking down to the city from the airport, you see something green coming up from the water, and you can feel curious. Later on, upon arrival, you will see that green lush plantation almost wherever you are in the city. So, Son-tra Nature Reserve was established in 1977, and the Son-tra Peninsula used to be an isolated island before 15th century, but thanks to the accumulation of silt from rivers, the only way from the city to the peninsula has gradually formed. The size of the peninsula isn't big. It's 4,370 hectares. And can you believe that it plays significant roles in locals' life? First of all, it is the frontier protecting the city from storm, which come from the ocean. Secondly, it can provide oxygen for 4 million people, not only 1 million population of Danang. And the people who live here or come for a visit, they can see the nature in 20 minutes, which is incredible. If you travel to the other places in Vietnam, that is not feasible because in Hanoi or Ho Chi Minh City, the traffic is terrible. And even the other lush locations are pretty far away in the remote parts. So Son Cha Nature Reserve is such the precious gem of Da Nang City. And everybody here is blessed. Can you believe that they see the blue sky every day and fresh air? It's just a pleasant life experience. Unfortunately, Son Cha Nature Reserve has been threatened by human activities such as illegal hunting and poaching. But the more serious issue is logging for building resorts and hotel or mass tourism development. And it was the reason why Green Viet, a local non-profit organization, decided to establish Son Cha Nature Education Center in 2018. At Green Viet, the founders believe that education will have to save the situation before it becomes too late. And our main visitors are students or university students because they are willing to make changes. Adults, they are either fearful or too old to make any changes. The Nature Education Center isn't spacious because it was built on a rental space. In Danang, Son Cha district is the last available not fully occupied neighborhood in the city, so the housing price is insanely expensive. Can you believe the housing price is about $250,000 US for 100 square meter, and it is COVID price. It used to be higher. Yeah, so the Green Viet NGO doesn't have the money to buy a place. They built a temporary education center with the hope that the city council would appreciate their effort and issue a better location. Unfortunately, since it was established in 2018, our voice hasn't been heard, and we have struggled a lot, especially COVID outbreak has stopped us from welcoming visitors and donors.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So, Tang, just let me interject here just to give perspective for our listeners. So the reserve is located just a little bit out of Danang, isn't it? About 10 kilometers, maybe 5 to 10 kilometers.
Dear Carrie, the peninsula is located in the northeast of Danang. And if someone stays in the city center or an expat neighborhood, the traveling distance would be from 7 to 10 kilometers, but it takes them only 15 or 20 minutes to get there.
Yes. So it's very close, as you say, and beautiful and green and lush. So for a new visitor, as you say, they arrive into Danang Airport. What would you suggest for a new visitor if they would like to come and visit this area?
I want to tell you a thing. Everybody can rent a scooter, a manual bike, and do an exploration by himself. But he is kindly requested to pay us a visit so that he can learn about the biodiversity and what should he do or shouldn't do when he is doing his trip. Because Sumatra Peninsula is home of more than 1,300 individuals of red-shanked douc langurs, the queen of primates. If he follows our guidance, he will have the opportunity to see them in the wild. And
these are the monkeys?
Yeah, red-shanked douc langurs are leaf-feeding monkeys. They are so beautiful that they were considered the queen of primates. So among more than 700 kinds of primates around the world, red-shanked douc langur is the most beautiful one, and therefore is called the queen of primates. Another name can sound funny, which is the pope monkey. The 5-color fur refers to the pope's coat. Or we have named them the soldier monkey because their front head looks like the soldier's hat. Yeah, it's interesting.
Yes, absolutely. So tell us, Tung, some of the things a visitor should know about before they go into that area, so that they are respectful of the reserve.
First of all, if they want to do a trip on their own, a motorbike is a good option because if they drive around in a day, 90 kilometers can take them a few hours already, right? And imagine if they walk 90 kilometers, it will take forever. The good motorbike should be manual, equipped with a good brake and gears. Do not forget to fuel the tank or check your tires, because once you go up there, you won't see a petrol station or a mechanic shop. I myself once had to push the bike for several kilometers. Yeah, it wasn't fun.
I'm sure.
They should choose the proper outfits. Green or dark colors are really good because they make the wild animals less afraid of strangers. Walking shoes, sandals, sneakers are much better than flip-flops or high heels. Come on, you don't wanna take selfie pictures there because it doesn't matter how much effort you put in. The nature is just beautiful, breathtaking, and you feel speechless. So if you try to spend time on taking selfie pictures, you will see, oh, me and the tree, me and the mountain, it's not Banana Hill. Instead, I highly recommend you to take pictures of the magnificent flora and fauna species, which you should learn before going. So
let me jump in here.
Yeah.
So do you suggest the person go to the education centre first?
Yeah.
And then go to the reserve, so they go in with better understanding of what to look for in the flora and fauna?
Yeah, because my center does organize several excursions upon request, but we are busy doing researches and other meaningful activities for the society. So some people may not know about us before coming, and they won't be able to join our trips. So they can go to the center, gain the better understanding, and then explore on their own. We will always give them several survival tips, like do not feed the wildlife animals, do not stare at the macaques, or some kind of safety instruction, not driving fast and furious. You are not in the movie. You want to come back home in one piece. This is an alarm. The stiffness can wreck their nerve. So, have to put their hands on the gears firmly and stay focused. We really hope that the visitors will help us to spread the information about the peninsula to more and more people. So, one person can teach others. It's like no one teach one.
No one teach one. I get it. So are the monkeys friendly, or do you need to be careful around the monkeys?
So in Soncha, there are several other kinds of macaques and red-shanked langurs. Red-shanked langurs are vegetarian, so they are nice and kind. They are usually camera shy. So when we see them, we should keep a distance so that they won't run away from us. We want to take great pictures of their shining coat, their adorable families, or their interesting daily life activities. They will be cautious. The fathers make some alarm noises to his family, like, oh, some strangers are around. Everybody watch out. But as long as we hold our camera or take pictures with our phones and we don't show any harmful gestures, then we are okay. They can give us several minutes and they leave, or some will like us and stay with us for a while. But we are safe with red-shanked langurs. The macaques, on the other hand, should get some of your attention. Macaques are very smart, but you can think about them as the witches. They like to take your belongings, they wait for your food, or they want to scare you to death. Yeah.
Oh, God.
So in Songcha, you have two kinds of macaques: the wild ones and the ones which used to be pets. So the wild ones are really protective. They see you coming and they will make the loud, alarming sound. And if you want to play along, they think you are ready to fight back, and they call the other members of the flocks and come and start the fight. Or if they see you pulling something out of your pocket, they think that, you are prepared. And they like to take your belongings first, like now you are not armed and you cannot cause any harms to them. The second kind of macaques, which used to be pets, they would be the pain in your neck because they lost the ability to find food on their own. They would gather along the main road, especially the parts in front of Lady Buddha Pagoda or Intercon Hotel. They make the drivers sit on a lot of nerve. The drivers do not want to hit them and run away, right? But it can be unavoidable in certain circumstances. And can you believe you lock the car, you lock your bike, and you stand on the pavement, take pictures of flowers and landscapes, and when you come back, they sit on your bikes or on your car, looking at you like trick or treat, like food, or I'm not gonna leave your vehicles, something like that.
Wow. Do they attack you? Are they vicious?
Yeah, especially if they see you carrying some food and not willing to give them. In my country, and also in India, China, Thailand, macaques have caused tremendous problems. Everybody loves the cute babies, and they think, I just want to do him a favor. I cannot resist this cuteness. And people have changed their wild behaviors. Instead of trying to find the food and feeding themselves in the wild, they have become sport pets. In the wildlife market, a baby monkey is asked for $1,500, but the owner only wants to keep him for a few months or maybe a year or two. Later on, the baby monkey grows up and loses the cuteness. Instead, he would expose the wild characteristics, cranky, fighting, or the wildlife animals sting. You don't want to have something sting in your house, right? So the owners will take them back to the forest and say, off you go.
Let them go.
But,
they have no skills then to
they have
feed
no
themselves.
skills needed to survive, and it is crazy.
But for a tourist, I'm thinking, gee, I'm not sure whether I would feel comfortable going there knowing that the, as you call them, the
Macaques.
breed would possibly attack me or put me in a position that I was frightened. So how do you protect yourself from that?
Honestly, I would give people advices regarding on which time frame would work. For example,
tell us that.
If you want to go to Lady Buddha Pagoda or Intercontinental Hotel and the adjacent areas, you should definitely avoid the late afternoon. So from 3 p.m. and onward, the local people would love to visit the mentioned places because the breeze, the sun, everything is just perfect. And the local people have been blinded by their emotion. They will not care about the warning signs. They carry the food and they even make fun of the macaques. So from 3 p.m. and onwards, you see macaques sitting on the road fighting for food, and local visitors are laughing ridiculously. And I would recommend foreign visitors, to check out those places earlier in the day. And of course, I will be willing to share with you the GMAP roads. You can drive up there and see the less known parts of the peninsula where you will be able to see the wild macaques. But keep in mind the safety instruction, because it's not pleasant being bothered by macaques shouting noise. I'm taking picture. Why you are trying to make me go away? Please understand that we are intruders. We invaded their privacy.
Space.
So
yes.
If they get mad at us, we should feel like, it's a part of the experience.
Yes, I know. I have been to Sontra a couple of times, but more to the area where they are developing some small areas where resorts and beautiful beaches and things. And I've also been to the top of the hill, which has got an amazing view of Danang city and the coastline. But I had been warned about the monkeys in the forest. And when I went to visit Lady Buddha, my friend who took me on a motorbike, she said we go early, very early in the morning, so that we will avoid most of the harassment of the monkeys that you mentioned. And we still get the sunrise so that we can capture the beautiful photography, which we did. And it was an amazing experience for me. I just loved it. But it's good to know from you just a little bit more about the aspect of it being a nature reserve that we need to protect. We need to protect the plant species and the animal species that is their home. It is what, is their land, their space, and their part of the planet. So as you say, we are the intruder. So we need to be aware of this. And something I want for the people listening is to still have a look at the options available to visit this area, get a better understanding from your education centre. I'm going to put all the links in the episode notes that people can jump on and find out more information. And then people can use that as a bit of a guide. I want people to go there with having done some research into this area, because it's still worth going, but go into it with your eyes wide open and with some knowledge to make the visit pleasant as possible, keeping in mind that there is some elements that may not be always easy to manage, which you have really done well to explain to us, that, being mindful of food and the precarious nature of some of these monkeys is not always. They tease you and they screech, and they can be a menace to you in your experience. Where the beautiful the red-shanked monkeys, they are a little bit different in their nature, and we need to be respectful of that. As you say, talking about taking selfies, we want to try to minimize the selfies and take more of the flora and the fauna and the area as such, and hopefully some beautiful vistas and views, etc. Just to finish up, I want to just cover off, if we can, what a visitor or a person that has an interest in this area in biodiversity and would like to support Green Viet, what can they do to help support your organisation?
Kelly, that is so nice of you. Of course, my NGO needs a lot of help. As I mentioned earlier, being a non-profit organization is not easy. So the founders of the NGO have always done consulting works or extra works so that they can sustain the NGO and do the good things for the peninsula and the local people. We need to protect the primates, including red-shanked langurs and the macaques, because they are considered our ancestors. Let's say the red-shanked langurs only, they share 98% of ADN similarity with human. And the primates, they have family structures, they have the similar eyes to us. We call it binocular eyes that can observe different colors, and they are really smart thanks to the big brains. They take care of each other, they use tools. There's so much for us to learn from them. They played another role in pollination, or can you believe that a kidney of rhesus macaque, one species in Suncha, can be extracted for a few hundred kinds of vaccines that save people's life. So we need to protect them, because if they are gone forever. And it's really sad. In the past, my country suffered poverty and hunger. People would eat everything. Nowadays, the situation is not the same, but people are using wild animal products, including primates, medical barn, soup, whatever you can name. And my NGO founders think that is unfair for the environment. Why the animals have to suffer? They have the right to live their life as we do.
It was great having Tung on the show. I'm sure we've all learnt a lot more about the reserve and the biodiversity and, of course, those monkeys. My God, I had no idea that they had such a mischievous nature. And I think now when we all go to visit the reserve, we'll go in with our eyes wide open and a lot more educated as to handle ourselves and, of course, handle them. If you'd like to contribute to Green Viet's work in this area, in saving the Sontra Reserve, please feel free to jump on the links in the episode notes. I look forward to seeing you in the next episode of What About Vietnam? Thank you for listening.
Thank you for listening. Check out the episode notes for more information.
What about Vietnam?
Don't forget to subscribe, rate and review, and stay tuned for more fun adventures in Vietnam.
What about Vietnam?